Last time on Mario Kart Double Dash.
Welcome to another episode of a series I call Last Time On, where I revisit the games I played in the past and discuss my thoughts and opinions and how they've changed since I was a child. Basically, this is a retrospective. Today I'm talking about Mario Kart Double Dash, my favorite game in the Mario Kart series. You can see why right here, the two-character system. Unlike any other game in the series, you can pick any combination of two characters to form a team. One character drives and the other throws items. You can swap them at any time and each racer can hold items. The Mario series has had a multitude of characters, and sometimes it can be difficult to pick just one. There are so many great characters to choose from. By being able to pick two characters, the decision is easier, but at the same time, it's not. That's because in this game, the characters you pick are important. This game has 20 characters, a huge upgrade from the previous game, which only had 8 characters. This roster is special because it splits down the middle between heroes and villains. This is my first Mario Kart game and probably one of the first games I've ever played. This shows in the character selection. We have our usual contenders, Mario, Luigi, Peach, Daisy, and Yoshi. When you select characters, they say their names, which was nice so that I can remember them. We can see this from the first 10 characters.
Mario, Luigi, Peach, Daisy,
Yes, I thought Toronto's names were Hi and Hey, but I have several excuses for this. I was really young and it was my first time meeting these characters, and who am I to question it when all the other characters said their names when you picked them? Yeah, I know some of the villainous characters don't say their names, but back then, I barely gave any of them attention, so I didn't bother to remember their names or think much of them. Choosing characters matters a lot because each of them brings something different to the table. There are 3 types of characters: light, medium, and heavy. Light characters are small and gain speed quickly, but can easily be pushed by all of the other racers. Heavy characters take longer to gain speed, but their top speeds are faster. They are also powerful, being able to push anyone who gets in their path. Medium characters are the middle ground between these characters. Each character has a special item only they can use. Some examples include Peach and Daisy's heart that allows them to pick up obstacles they run into, Toronto's golden mushroom, and Bowser Jr.'s Bowser shell. Petty Prawn and King Boo can use every item. Some people might not like that some items are restricted, like the triple shells and the super mushroom, but I personally like that because it makes choosing characters important. Nowadays, the characters you pick have no real effect on the gameplay, from what I've seen. It's just the carts that matter. In this game, the characters and carts matter. After all, many carts are locked based on weight class. For example, Baby Mario can use his carriage only if he is partnered with another light character. If his partner is Bowser or any heavy character, then they would have to use the heavy carts. This matters because the cards have really different stats from one another. It makes it satisfying when you win with your favorite character despite the odds of them having a bad item or cart. But what makes this really fun was the random button. When you hold the L and R buttons, it randomly selects both racers in the cart. The cart is selected based on who the driver is. Whoever you pick will completely change how you play. Getting someone like Bowser might make you play more aggressively, while playing Toad might make you play more defensively or passively. I used to use the random button all the time when I played with my sister. It changed things up for us since it forced us to play characters we normally wouldn't use. When I was really young, I was pretty bad at this game. Arguably, I'm still not the best player. It was my first racing game, so I didn't know what drifting was. When my sister explained it to me, I was still confused. This was how I used to go past corners. Slipping in the final lap is almost a death sentence if you want to be first. I always fell on courses like Rainbow Road because I couldn't drift properly. That was until I replayed the game. Mario Kart Double Dash is a hectic game where things can change on a dime. You can be first for the entire race and then the blue shell comes to hit you right at the end. Any kind of slip up can jeopardize your position. The courses are also much larger, making it easy to slip up and fall out of bounds. You can see this when you compare DK Mountain from this game to the one in Mario Kart Wii and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Mario Kart Double Dash is also a game that requires skill, not just in drifting but in shortcuts and other miscellaneous things. You'll need to keep some of them in mind when you race in mirror mode, where the computer players are the toughest. Some examples include swapping characters in the middle of grabbing item boxes to get items for both characters, and saving good items. You have to be strategic. There are many shortcuts, but they are either too out of the way to be worth pursuing or too risky to try. I always go for the Yoshi Island shortcut whenever I have a mushroom, and even then I still mess up and fall into the water. Speaking of that, some of my favorite moments rewatching the footage I've acquired from replaying this game come from the wipeouts. I showcased some of them at the start of the video, but I've had a ton of wipeouts. Some of them are so crazy that I get attacked while in the air. It's annoying to experience if it costs me my lead, but funny to watch back. These are also fun things to look for in other people's playthroughs of this game. They're just so funny in how outlandish they are. This game has 16 unique courses. 4 of each belong to a cup: Mushroom, Flower, Star, or Special. All Cup Tour includes all 16 courses. I've played All Cup Tour enough times to know that it takes about 45 minutes to complete. Many courses stand out, such as Peach Beach, Waluigi Stadium, Sherbet Land, and Dino Dino Jungle. My personal favorites are Daisy Cruise and Mario Coliseum. My least favorite has got to be Sherbet Land. There are tons of shy guys who I constantly run into, but that's not my problem with it. It's these ice shards at the end of the course. When anyone hits them, it can bounce off them and hit another team. You can get punished for your opponent's mistake. Another course of note is Bowser's Castle, because whenever someone gets attacked with an item, Bowser can be heard laughing in the background. But he does the same even to himself. This game has 4 difficulties: 50cc, 100cc, 150cc, and Mirror Mode. Completing each cup in first place unlocks either a cart, character, or mode, and in 2 cases, a level for battle mode. The only unlockable characters are Toad, Toadette, King Boo, and PD Piranha. There are many more unlockable carts. There are about 21 carts in the game, 1 for each character and the cart Toadsworth uses in the award ceremony. For the longest time, I did not know King Boo and Petty Piranha were unlockable characters. I didn't know Mirror Mode was a thing either. In my early years, I thought Toad and Toadette were the only major thing you needed to unlock. I think I found out about these things when my sister completed the entire game for the first time, which was probably when I was in 4th or 5th grade. Replaying this game, it was as fun as I could remember, but it was also the strangest. This is because I tried playing characters I rarely played in the past. Some of them include Bowser, Donkey Kong, Wario, and Waluigi. I normally never played the heavy characters, and as I mentioned before, I didn't know King Boo and Petty Piranha existed until way later. Waluigi isn't a heavy character, but I don't like his special item very much, the bombs. This is because it doesn't really help me when I'm behind, only when I'm ahead. But when these items come when you're falling behind, it only ensures you're not in last place, if you're not already. Whenever I got any of Bowser, Wario, Waluigi, or Donkey Kong when I chose characters randomly, I would groan. Whenever I play Petty Piranha, it feels even stranger. He is a massive character, even compared to Bowser. When you play as him, the camera is noticeably zoomed out. If it wasn't like that, you probably won't be able to see past his head. The same happens when you use Toadsworth's parade cart. Playing the heavy characters was not that bad, but the game felt more difficult. This might be because I'm used to playing the light characters like Toad and Bowser Jr. I thought the characters are pretty balanced, but I feel like there are some characters that are overall better. This could just be my experience, but playing 2 light characters always felt easier than playing the medium or heavy characters. This is weird because in 50 and 100cc, the heavy characters are normally placed at the bottom of the races, but in 150 and Mirror Mode, they are the biggest threats. Normally I have to fight with Donkey Kong, Bowser, or Wario for 2nd place when I play with my sister. In Mirror Mode, I sometimes have to fight them just to get on the podium. Speaking of that, the characters I preferred playing were a combination of Toad and either Peach or Bowser Jr. Actually, I like playing Toad and Toadette together, but since my sister always took Toadette, I settled with Peach or Bowser Jr. This is because I like their powers. Bowser Jr.'s Bowser Shell always felt powerful and damaging to my opponents, even though it can sometimes get me in return. Peach's power was especially useful to me because it provided great defense for obstacles, something I run into constantly. I was determined to try each of the characters because I barely played most of them in the past, only playing them when I ended up with them randomly. And it wasn't so bad. I had to try over and over again to get first place with certain teams, but in the end, I was able to have each character represented twice on my leaderboard, besides Petty Piranha because I accidentally played Diddy Kong on 3 cups. I think the gameplay holds up to this day, but what about the graphics? I think the game looks good enough for me. The characters look clear and the environments are nice and vibrant. The only thing I'd prefer is for the textures to look more optimized and for the game to be widescreen. The only reason why this footage is widescreen is because I'm playing this on Dolphin, where there's a code to make the game widescreen. If you want more details on how to do that, I'll put a link to the video that helped me in the description. I have the game on the Gamecube, but it's too much of a hassle to record from there. This game is great, and I hope more people can enjoy this game as much as I have. But Mario Kart Double Dash is not very accessible to people. The price of Gamecube games have skyrocketed, and many people do not own a Gamecube or Wii these days. In the future, I hope Nintendo remakes this game for the Switch or whatever their next console is. Nintendo likes to make money, but they continue to lose opportunities to make money on their inaccessible games by not introducing them to a new audience. Saying that, I don't want them to just port the game like they did with the Super Mario Collection. I'm hoping they remake the game, or at least add new content. Here is how I would like the remake to look. They can keep the same mechanics and overall feel, but make the graphics similar to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. While I'm alright with the art style of Mario Kart Double Dash, I think more people would prefer the graphics of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. In this hypothetical game, there will be additional content, 4 characters, 8 courses, 2 battle stages, and 1 new battle mode. To keep the balance between heroes and villains, I added 2 heroes and 2 villains to the roster. The first pair has got to include Rosalina, who is a mainstay in all of the Mario spin-offs. There are even some crazy cases where she takes priority over others. I paired her up with Luma, a character never introduced as an individual. In future Mario Kart games, Luma can sometimes flow around Rosalina. What better of a time is there to make Luma a character than this one? Now, Luma can finally race alongside Rosalina. I had a lot of trouble picking the villain duo. I wanted to balance the game a bit by adding 2 more heavy characters. Deciding who they should be was tricky. Many Mario enemies not included were characters like Boo, Dry Bones, and the like. However, we already have King Boo and the Koopas in this game. I decided to add King Bob-omb and the green guy from Super Mario Bros. 2. It's Wards. I'd say him or Dimentio from Super Paper Mario. I wanted to be somewhat realistic in the characters I've chosen by picking King Bob-omb, a character who has been popping up in a few Mario spin-off games, like Mario Kart Tour and Mario Tennis Aces. At the same time, I wanted to introduce a few new characters. With Luma, King Bob-omb, Wart, or Dimentio, there are a few new options for people to try, along with their carts. In this hypothetical game, some characters will get retouches. Perhaps their special items will get buffed or nerfed, but the characters with the biggest change will be King Boo, Petty Piranha, Wario, and Waluigi. It never made sense for King Boo and Petty Piranha to have every item. Instead, I thought of new items for both of them. For King Boo, he will have the Ghost ability. Once activated, he will become invulnerable to items and other carts for some time. This means no other racers can push King Boo, but he cannot push them either. This has a similar function as the Boo item in future games. As a fellow Boo, it makes sense for King Boo to have this as his unique item. For Petty Piranha, he could have the goop from Mario Sunshine. It will act similarly to bananas, where if thrown on the ground, it will make any passing cart slip. But it will have another function, blinding characters. This will be activated by tossing the goop onto other carts. When blinded, it will look something like the blooper item. As for King Bob-omb, he would have to take the bombs away from Mario and Waluigi. Instead, Wario and Waluigi can have something called a wild swing ding from the WarioWare games, where they take this giant structure and smack any carts surrounding them with it. Or they can have some kind of ground pound item that stuns their surrounding opponents. This will be a stronger version of the Super Horn, except they won't be able to stop the blue shell. If you have any other ideas for their unique item, as well as Wart and Dimentio, let me know in the comments. As for Rosalina and Luma, they would be the ones to have every item in the game. Coming from space, it makes sense for that to be the case. Characters are cool, but the meat of a racing game is the tracks. To facilitate these new characters, I present to you the Banana and Shell Cup. With the introduction of these cups, I did not want to alter the already existing cups in the game. They already fit well with each other. There will be 8 new courses. I wanted to pick courses that represented the new characters since most of the characters already have a track of their own in the game. I think all of the new courses should be unique, so it won't feel like you're playing a different version of Mario Kart 8. I considered adding the Cut Reverse Cup, but I thought more unique stages would be better. I would add more courses than 8, considering the vast amount we've received in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and its DLC, but I still wanted the game's all-cup tour to be a thing. Already adding 8 more courses will make the cup 1/3 longer than it already is. That'll make it roughly 60 minutes, and that's for mirror mode. 50cc and 100cc will definitely take longer to complete. In this game, completing a cup in first place unlocks something. This is the case except for all cup tours 50cc and 100cc cups. Here's a chart that showcases this. Now, with the new courses and characters I've added, here is an updated version of the unlockable chart. The unlockables generally stay the same, so old players can relive the moments unlocking all of these again. For new players, they'll get to experience what it's like to unlock characters in the Mario Kart game. As for battle mode, there will be some improvements. With stronger hardware, 8 characters will be supported on the battlefield. Of course, this means CPU players will be participating as well. There will also be 2 additional battle courses and 1 new battle mode called Coin Runners. This will be similar to how it is in future titles. Whoever has the most coins by the end of the round wins. Personally, I would purchase a remake like the one I described. Of course, I'm biased. But what do you guys think about this? Do you agree or disagree with my opinions? And is there anything I missed or you have an opinion about? Be sure to let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more content. That was all for today. Talk to you guys next time.
Later.